I guess we got shit to talk about. Damn.
All right, it's your boy
Even
Don.
though Jamal Murray and Portland had a bad game, they legit shot 52% and shot 39% from three and lost. That's
Wow.
nuts. That's wild. In the
Crazy.
words of Don Dollar Sign, that's
That's
crazy.
crazy. That's crazy. So it's your boy
Did that
Don
shit actually
Dinero.
save?
Huh?
Did that shit actually save?
Yeah, it saved. We're good. Oh yeah.
Damn.
Hold on, let me
I
double check.
swear.
I ain't even checked. Hold on, let me check. Yeah. It saved. It saved. We good.
We gotta push that shit on YouTube because that shit say zero videos right now.
Exactly. All right, so we good. That one saved. All right. All right, it's your boy Don Dinero, aka Six Man Don. We got my boy.
Yo, it's the Mac Sports Attack. I'm the Mac himself, Marvin Allen Cox, here right in front of the camera for you. Let's get it.
All right, man. If y'all should have watched our last video. You know what I'm saying? We were talking about super teams and everything. So with the super teams, let's talk about the trade rumors that's going on right now, man. I feel like it's some crazy
Give it to me.
trade
Give it to
rumors
me.
going on. We don't talk about my boy JB, Jaylen Brown. It seems like the Celtics are looking elsewhere and not trying to keep my boy around.
Ooh!
My boy Mac, how you feel about that one?
Trade alert! Trade alert! Hey man, this is what I'm gonna tell you. They just changed this new law for the Supermax. Um, the boy JB, Jaylen Brown, was on All NBA, and he made the All Star team. So
Mm-hmm.
that stretches the max even more.
Right.
Stretches it even more. So he got 1 more year on his contract. Tatum got 2 more. Let's all be real. The better player is Jason Tatum. Oh wait, I can't say let's be real because Don De Niro over here be hating on Jason Tatum.
Right.
But I'm
There
sure
is
you can
no
get to that
hating
next.
on him. There's no hating on
But
him. I be speaking facts about him. like, come
but
on,
this is
man.
the problem, ladies and gentlemen. And make sure you comment. Let us know your thoughts below. The problem is the Supermax that Jaylen Brown is eligible for. I believe it's 8 years. I'll make sure to
I
find the
think so.
years, but it is $290 million. And the next year is going to be $290 million for Tatum. So you're going to be playing two players locked up for the future for 8 to 10 years. Two players alone pretty much is going to cost you $600 million.
Ain't gonna happen.
Now, the NBA salary cap is going to keep going up and up and up. So they'll find a way to make it work. But the problem is, are both of them worth 290? But that's question number one. Question number two, are they a good fit together? What
Um,
say you, Dollar Sign?
is it worth both of them? No.
So Jason Tatum is worth whatever the Supermax is,
Yeah.
in my opinion. So is Jaylen Brown worth $290 million?
Um, without Jason Tatum, yes. With Jason Tatum, no.
Speak on that, sir.
Why I say with him, no. I feel like Jason Tatum fits around everybody else. And Jaylen Brown can either play with them or play without them, and they still win. So Jaylen Brown can do whatever, and they'll still win. He can have a bad night, he can have a good night, they still win. Jason Tatum is the most versatile on that team, so I keep him regardless. He's the guy for the team, but do I keep both of them and then ruin?
By the way, not to interrupt,
You good?
it is 5 years, 290. God bless
Yeah.
America.
Do
So
I
that's
keep both of
$58
them?
million a year.
But see, the thing is, if you keep both of them, you let some of these bench players go now, and that bench is so in depth. Now you're relying on both of them. I don't want to be in that situation. I always want to have a bench. No matter who I am, I always want to have a comfortable bench. That way, if those two guys go out, I'm still good. And I feel like if we can put Jaylen Brown anywhere because he's a role player. He's a superstar role player. Let me say that. I'm not saying he's not a great player. I'm not saying he's like a Max Strus or a Kyle Lowry. No, he's got game. I just think he's a role player. He's a Klay Thompson to me. Not as great, but he can fit in certain teams. Like I feel like Klay could fit in certain teams without Steph. You know what I'm saying? So Jaylen Brown can fit in other teams, and you can still win. That's how I feel about it. Do you keep both of them? No. If it costs me my bench, no. If I can keep everybody and pay for both of them, I'll take it. But if it costs me my bench, I'm good.
Now, if you see him as a role player,
Mm-hmm.
he is definitely not worth the max then.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, like they said this year, Boston should have. This was their opportunity to win
This
because
was their year.
a lot of people think they had the most talented roster.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And their bench.
so factor into that bench, Michael Brogdon could be a starter, I believe,
Yeah.
probably half of the NBA. Derek White should be a starter, half of the NBA, and then they also have Marcus Smart.
Yeah.
And to me, that's a lot of. You can live without one of those guys.
Exactly.
I agree.
Yeah,
So
yeah, you
if you
can.
let one of them go,
Yeah.
I think you have to keep Derek White. But if you let one of them go to compensate for that contract, maybe.
Not Marcus
So what
Smart.
do you think? All right. So you basically told me he's a glorified role player,
Yeah.
which is kind of effed up. He's a starter. I think you meant to say he's not a main guy.
Yeah, that's
I
what.
don't
Yeah,
think you
okay,
meant to say
that's what I
role
said.
player.
Cause that's my boy. That's my
Um,
boy. Jaylen Brown, my boy. I
but
want to clear that up.
but to have a super max, I think you need to be a lot more.
Yeah.
You need to be a star.
Yeah.
And the problem is, in the regular season, he played like a star. And I feel like once the playoffs come, I'm gonna try to pull up his stat line for the regular season. I
No,
feel like when the playoffs come, he he he
he wasn't the guy he was last year.
he's not
Let's say
that
that.
dog.
He's not the dog that he was last year, and I feel
All right,
like that's why he got
26
discredited.
points and 7 rebounds per game. That's superstar type numbers. And he was first team All NBA.
Yes.
Or was he second team All NBA? He was one of the team All NBAs.
Yes. But
So you're supposed to be a superstar.
but you
I see
already.
it as he got to go.
Yeah.
No disrespect to him.
Yeah. No.
There's a lot of people who are saying, and let's be, me and Don are on the same page on this. So
Yeah.
I want to clearly make this message
Yeah.
so it's not unrecognizable of what we're saying. So y'all kill us in the comments if you feel otherwise.
Yeah.
But we feel like Jaylen Brown has to go, but not because he's not good enough.
Right.
Because he's not a good fit anymore for that team.
For that, you want to know?
We think he's great, but we think he needs to be the alpha somewhere else to get his confidence to kill.
I don't
Example.
think. Okay, keep going. Keep going.
Example, and then you run. Example is this year. The Brooklyn Nets, horrible construction with KD and Kyrie. Not horrible because they're not talented, but another video for another time. Kyrie kills teams.
He does.
But they try to get the best trade they can. They got some draft picks. They got some young talent. One of the young talent was Mikal Bridges, right? So that team had Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Bridges, and Ayton was their 4 stars.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like we all thought Bridges was a good player, but he wasn't consistently hitting it in the playoffs.
Right.
And people were starting to be like, is he really a good player or is he just a 3-and-D guy? Well, as soon as they traded and he comes to Brooklyn, he starts balling out. I think the dude had a 50-point game.
He did.
Um, so I think, in my opinion, that's what Jaylen Brown needs. I think if they were to win together, it had to happen already. And now I think it's clear that Tatum is the number one option and the alpha dog of that team. And I feel like Jaylen Brown is just like, I want to be the alpha dog. And I think it's time for him to go somewhere else. And they help build around him, or he feels like he's part of the main program in order to really hit his maximum potential. Because right now, I think he's never going to hit that potential with him feeling like Tatum is, yeah, that's my boy, that's my dog, but I'm low-key just as good as you, bro. I should be an alpha too. It's not a Steph and Clay splash bro situation with them. It's more of like, I'm that guy when the playoffs comes, and I'm the Batman, you the Robin.
But and I feel like that's the problem because Klay Thompson is acceptive of his role, and Jaylen Brown's not acceptive of his role. And also, Jaylen Brown has to realize when you take upon that role, just like Klay Thompson, that means if Steph Curry's having a bad night, you have a great night. And if Steph Curry's having a good night, you have a great night as well. Klay Thompson this year did not have great nights when Steph had bad nights. Jaylen Brown this year did not have great nights when Jason Tatum had bad nights. And that was the problem. If you want to be that star, Jason Tatum's scoring 14. Go give me 25. Go give me 30. Go give me 40. You haven't done that. So but you want a max contract. You can't do that because now we're dwindling. Now we're not going off your hype. Now we're going off of what can you do, okay? You've been sitting in his shadows, but you want to be the main guy. Now, regular season, and this is the problem with the Celtics. Do I think coaching had a huge part in it? Yes. Why? Because when you guys got to the playoffs, every team had a chance to kick y'all ass. Every team had a chance to kick the Celtics ass. Everybody. And they just dwindled and happily made it. Coaching was a big part of the Celtics. I feel like the coaching was bad, but there was nothing he can do. This is his first year. But at the same time, there were nights where Boston gave up. They just said, fuck it. We're not going to play basketball. We're just going to put up shots. Hopefully they go in because we got stars. Hopefully because we got the number one defensive guy, he's going to stop the other people's offense. And that didn't happen. You had guys like Tyrese Maxey having great nights during the playoffs. Get the fuck out of here, okay? The only person that needs to go off is Joel Embiid. So, with that being said, I feel like that's why Jaylen Brown, he's not that guy. He needs to go somewhere else where he's a supportive role and becomes the star. He needs to do what DeJounte Murray did. DeJounte Murray goes to the Hawks. Now he's a supportive guy. Because when he was at the Spurs, we really didn't talk about him. We barely cared about him.
That's because they suck right now. They're garbage.
Yeah. I'm just saying. We didn't talk about him then. We're talking about him.
And then Jaylen Brown, like in the Miami series, Tatum had 4 or 5 30-point games.
Right.
When Jaylen Brown average in the regular season was 26.6, he only hit that once. Mm-hmm. He had a 12-point game, a 16-point game, a 17-point game, and then in Game 7, when Tatum hurts his ankle, and you like, all right, JB, you got to carry this, he has 19. So he didn't do enough. Interesting, I was just listening to you, and I'm always taking in what you're saying. And if you're talking crazy, I'm going to tell you talking crazy, but when you're talking nice, I'm going to tell you talk that shit, my boy. And you talking about coaching, all right? And we all know, different video for another day, Ime Udoka should not have been done how he did.
We know that.
If it was, let's be real,
if it
was a white NBA coach, all this wouldn't have came out on him, what he did behind the scenes. They would have kept it in-house. Anyways, the only reason I bring that up is because he got fired. right before the season.
Right.
Missoula took the job a week before training camp and everything started. He wasn't able to construct his own coaching roster,
Mhm.
which this offseason he's already been able to do. He just
Yeah.
hired Sam Cassell and somebody else. So with
Yeah.
you bringing up coaching, right? Let's say if JB does stay. Let's say instead of 290, he's like, you know what? I'm gonna take 250.
I agree.
Right? So that's 40 million extra the team can use to construct the team.
Right.
And then, okay, let's say he stays now, right?
Mhm.
Do you think coaching can fix his role?
Mhm.
Or you think no matter what, his fit on his team is dead?
Um, I know it's not similar, but Mike Brown took over Steve Kerr's team and did his thing. He's taken over whatchamacallit's team, and all you have to do is put the right pieces together because now you've watched them. You know what they can do. You're not expecting them to do something because there were times in the playoffs where Jaylen Brown was just standing at the 3-point line. Stupid, dumb, retarded. Why is he doing that? He's not that type of guy. He's not a I'm gonna stand in the corner and shoot. He's a I gotta get active. No, he's not the best dribbler, but he moves around. He creates mismatches. He's always moving. He can get to the basket. So you take that part of coaching and you realize, hey, I fucked up right there. Those are those gray areas where okay, we shouldn't have did that. We should have kept the momentum going. So does Jaylen Brown take the pay cut and I build this team how I want to? I take him back to the finals. If he stays, I take him back to the finals. That gotta be his promise to them for ruining part of their season. I'm not gonna say it's all of him, but I will say part of the season that's on him. You know, it's especially now we're here, baby. This is it. You know, if you wanted to mess up, that was season. Give us a bottom seed, okay? But we're here now. We need winning, and that I think that's what I agree with you on that. If he takes the pay cut, they go back to the finals.
All right, guys, so we both agree here. Y'all guys comment on us, talk to us, let us know your thoughts and what you're thinking. Obviously, the last little bit there was a hypothetical. If he takes a pay cut and there's different coaching, can he fix his role?
Right.
But what we think is going to happen is we both think he's going to take the Supermax, which he wants 290, and he can only get it in Boston.
Yeah.
So it would be a sign and trade. And we
Mhm.
think with him costing 290, we don't think he's the right fit for this team anymore. He needs to go somewhere else and become the alpha dog or a main integral part of
Mhm.
the team flow.
Right.
So in order to grow and take it to the next step of his career. So with that being said, Don Dowside,
Excuse me.
do you have? I'm not asking you for real predictions, or you can give me realistic predictions if you want. But I'm asking you straight up, where do you think he could go? What do you think is a good fit? Or if you don't want to say, hey, I don't know if there's any good fits for him, what do you think would realistically happen in the NBA to accommodate him? What you think? What's on your mind? Where can JB go?
Realistically, I don't know because I don't know cap spaces right now and what they got. Um, good fits. If I
Well,
if I
past spaces,
do
you know there's going to be a star traded for a star probably.
okay,
Let, let,
if I do a star traded for a star, I
well, how about this?
I would
What does
give
Boston need to take their team to the next level? If you think JB's going, because him and Tatum kind of play similar position. Um,
you know
they're both small forwards, but I think JB plays the two
Jason
as
is nowhere
well.
near small forward.
I think Tatum could play 2, 3, or
Yeah,
4.
I think he played 2, 3, or 4, but yeah.
Right. So
Um, I say if it was just a team that needed him, it's crazy because you're gonna say why, but Memphis,
What?
Memphis.
Elaborate. You
You
got my attention.
you you give them Memphis because they
Who
need.
would Memphis give up?
Well, I mean, they really ain't got nobody to give up because I mean they're gonna have to keep Desmond Bain. It.
Well, bro, if they gonna get JB, you gotta give me something. You can't just say Memphis and be
Let's
like, yeah.
see. Let's see. Do I give up
What you got?
Desmond Bain? I give up Jaren Jackson. I know that's crazy, but Steven Adams have a healthy year. Give up Jaren Jackson some money. Give me a couple draft picks and hold on. Who else is on there? It's somebody else on there that I know could go. Let me look hold on. Let me look at
I
Memphis
know.
Rockets.
Hey, that's an interesting one though. I have not heard that one yet.
Let's see. Man. Well, not Dylan Brooks. Yeah, give me Jaren Jackson and Luke Kennard. To make it interesting, Luke Kennard
Luke K,
or
okay,
Brandon
get some
Clark.
shooting.
Yeah,
Get
or
some
Brandon
shooting.
Clark. Yeah, he's a shoot. Anybody will give money and a shooter and a draft pick. Anybody will take that. I mean, it's a shooter. Add him onto your team. Um, I think that would be
You know what?
elusive.
I like that, bro.
That would be
Because I
elusive for
think for them to
John.
take it to the next step, they either need a superstar point guard with Tatum, which I think will be a good balance,
Mm-hmm.
even though they got a million guards right now, or they need a real good like center post presence with Tatum. If they're going to get rid of Jaylen Brown, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they need that today.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm saying is so. I think Jaren Jackson fits that role as a post
Post
presence,
person, yeah. Because Al Horford
and
don't do
Tatum
nothing.
can be the scorer because he won't have to worry about JB no more.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Jaren Jackson isn't like a shot volume shooter,
Yeah.
and Luke Kennard definitely a sharpshooter off the bench
If
will help them a lot as well. I like that. I like that trade. Damn, I didn't expect to like this trade, but
or
I like this trade. People in the comments, tell us what you thought. Tell me what you because I'm here in Memphis. I'm thinking he was gonna say something crazy like John Morant for JB, and I
no
was
no no.
ready
Well, you keep job.
to
You keep
call the
job. You keep
ruckus in
job.
here. I had confetti ready to blow up. I was about to say no, out of here. But Jaren Jackson, hey, y'all save this trade because this is a dope one and it seems kind of realistic. Jaren
It does.
Jackson and Luke Kennard and some other
Well,
money picks, whatever, for Jaylen Brown. I like that. I like that. I like that.
well, Trey Young
And
unfollowed
maybe he
the.
can carry the team because
He said what?
uh, maybe he could carry the team next year because John Moran about to get suspended for a year.
Whole
But
year.
that's another video, guys. That's
No,
another
that's gonna
video
be
for you.
like 30 days. But no,
All right. Well, I'm gonna give me some time to think of another one because I really like that one. I think the obvious one everybody's gonna start pulling out. Damian Lillard. He's
yeah, I
getting
was gonna say
older.
Portland.
He's getting older. He said he does not want to be on a rebuild team again. What do they have? The number 3 pick, I believe.
Uh-huh.
No, I think it's the number 2 pick. The Spurs are 1. I think they got a number 2 pick, and he's like, I'm not waiting for a young star to develop. He knows he's getting old. He knows it's time to go.
He goes to LeBron.
Well, he's 32 years old. Think of Damian Lillard and Jason Tatum.
No.
That's a problem.
No.
That is a effing problem.
That's not gonna happen.
I'm just saying. So if I'm Justin Jaylen Brown for Lillard, Jaylen Brown, take all our draft picks for Timbuktu. That is solid. That is solid.
On 2K, that'd be fine.
Let me just make sure they got the number 2 pick.
Because you could swindle that with the number 2 pick, Damian Lillard and Jaylen Brown.
They got the 2nd pick. So I'll be like, hey, Jaylen Brown, Damian Lillard. Maybe get a couple picks in exchange if you Portland. Now we got the number 2 pick as well, which I don't know if you know the draft prospects, but it's seeming to be Scoot Henderson,
Yeah.
who is projected to be the next like Russell Westbrook type. So now you got a young Russell Westbrook with Jaylen Brown to build for the future on a rookie contract while he gets his $290 million. I think that's solid. Next, I got the Atlanta Hawks. What you think about that?
Of course, I agree with the Atlanta Hawks.
Now tell me the report you told me about Trae Young earlier. Go ahead and enlighten us.
Trae Young has unfollowed the Atlanta Hawks. He's gotten rid of everything that has to do with the Atlanta Hawks on his Instagram. Now, this can either be a diva moment or it could be a Jaylen Brown's coming to town moment. Now, but see, you know the problem with that, and I just realized that you can't give Jason Tatum too good of a guard. You need to give him a mediocre guard. I mean, better than Marcus Smart and Derek White. You're correct about that. But when you give him too good of a guard, this is what happens. He's in standstill.
We'll worry about the fit later. This right now. We're worried about Jaylen Brown getting traded. Jaylen Brown getting.
It ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen.
Well,
because the trade has to make.
Trae Young has been beefing with the Hawks all year. He's beefed with every coach they had. We live here in Atlanta. Everybody be shitting on Trae Young. Oh, he's down. They take him for granted, and all of a sudden now they're talking about him getting traded for Jaylen Brown. Oh, we love Trae Young. Don't leave us. So
he can't.
What do you think about DeJounte Murray and Jaylen Brown together in Atlanta? I think that's a good pairing.
I think that's a totally good pair because they're the same guy. They're literally the same guy.
And he's from Atlanta.
Yeah, they're literally the same guy. Like, they're literally the same guy. Like, they both came from supportive roles. They've come to this team, young team, with cap space. That's what people forget. The Hawks is one of the leading NBA teams with cap space right now and money to buy somebody. So, what do? I get them, and then I give them a veteran, and then I'm good. You got to have a veteran on the team.
All right, guys, so we didn't see this coming. In this video, we have the Jaylen Brown projected trade special with the bench warmers, Don De Niro, and Max Sports Attack.
That's going to be the trade, my
boy. 3 trades. Don De Niro came up with this fantastic one on his own for the Memphis Grizzlies.
Yeah, that's the
talking
one.
About Mr. JJ and Lukey K, Duke Nation, for Jaylen Brown. You'll give Boston a nice shooter off the bench and a nice started post presence that Jaylen Brown could pair well with. Now, everybody in America is talking about our number 2 potential trade, Damian Lillard for Jaylen Brown. What did the Celtics get? Damian damn Lillard. We don't need to articulate on that much. What do Portland get? They get a young, budding star, and they still have the number 2 pick. And hopefully they do a quick rebuild with that and get straight back to the playoffs. Number 3, we have the Atlanta Hawks. Mr. Ice Traded Gang, Burr, going for Jaylen Brown. It'll take off the heat that they've been having in Atlanta, where it seems like Trae's been clashing with the ownership and all the coaches and whatnot. Gives Atlanta a fresh start, but it also can make the team just as good as they get an all-star, first-team All-NBA player,
right?
Who's from Atlanta, so you know he's gonna be hungry to show out there. So we have 3 trades here. I guess let's try to get 5. I got an outlandish one. So if one comes to your mind, I'll let you go next.
Yeah, make sure y'all comment in y'all trades below. Y'all let us know what trades y'all think would be crazy.
Yeah, well, first, tell us what you think about our trade.
Yeah.
Don't be too crazy. Be crazy. Be like crazy.
Be crazy.
And then tell us what your trades is. Tell us what your projected trades are.
Wait, y'all. We forgot. I forgot. Marvin's a LeBron fan. What you think about to happen to him?
I like LeBron. I didn't say I'm LeBron.
Yeah, I like LeBron.
Let's go there next. Let's try to get 5 here. So we got 3 trades. Trade number 4. Don't laugh at me. Don't say I'm crazy. The Minnesota Timberwolves. Okay? How do Boston get better, in my opinion, is they need, like we were saying, better guard play or post presence. A real strong post presence. I think they got a million guards, so they could probably get away with the Marcus Smart, the Derek White, and the Malcolm Brogdon situation again. Um, if they get a post presence, Al Horford is getting a little old, a little long in the tooth, as some may say. So I think he needs to come off the bench, and they need a real post presence. Big money from Jaylen Brown, matched with a big money contract. You know, they just traded a million bajillion fulfillion picks for Rudy Gobert. So they already got a big man. They got their star of the future, Anthony Edwards, over there. And he is very focused. He wants to make it to the playoffs. He wants to be taken serious. So I think he needs players that's going to be on that same level as him, which could be Jaylen Brown. So my projected trade is a star for a star. I'm trading Jaylen Brown for Karl Anthony Towns. I think Karl Anthony Towns suffers from being in the Timberwolves. I don't think he is Anthony Edwards, but I think Anthony Edwards can play in China right now, and he has the mentality of, I want to F everybody up. I want to win. I think Karl Anthony Towns needs more of a structure, needs more of a history, like a historic organization to keep him focused. Get him out of Minnesota, land him in Boston, a team that's known for success, a team that KG will go and talk to him like, hey, man, this is what we do here in Boston. Oh, shit. I didn't even realize that. KG came from Minnesota to Boston. He could say, hey, bro, you could be just like me. If you focus here, anything's possible. You, Jason Tatum, and those fleeter guards are on your way. And now Minnesota, they got a new fresh start. They got Edwards, who's already a beast. They got Jaylen Brown, who's first team NBA, the beast with him. And they still got a post presence in Rudy Gobert. You would argue this makes the team better because it clears up the center lane for Rudy Gobert to be the one in charge down there and let your two guards do their thing. I think it's an excellent idea. I've convinced myself more and more as I talked, actually. I didn't even think it was a good idea. I just wrote Timberwolves down and I was going to make something out of it, and I think I made a master trade. What do you think about this?
To be honest, that is a great master trade. Just because Rudy Gobert, he clogs up the hole with Karl Anthony Towns. Before that, Cat and Anthony Edwards didn't get along. I'm surprised that Rudy Gobert got along with anybody on this team because this team.
And remember, they did have Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, I think the Timberwolves are a horrible organization. You have a lot of stars that come through there, and they are horrible. With the past 2 to 3 years, there's been lack of communication. There hasn't been a star player that has been named on this team. You want to say it's Anthony Edwards, but then you want to say it's Karl Anthony Towns. It's horrendous. So I do think you get rid of I do think you get rid of Karl Anthony Towns. You let Rudy Gobert control the paint. Then you give Anthony Edwards somebody else so that his 36 points, his 41 points, his 27, his 28, those games don't go to waste because your other players are playing horrible and can't even hit 20 points per game. So, I agree with this one just because they need it so desperately, especially when you're talking about the West. You already have to deal with Curry. You already have to deal with LeBron. Then you got to deal with Jokic. I mean, you got to. There's so many people that you have to play hard against during the season, and even if you get a chance at the playoffs, because even now the Sacramento Kings are a good team. So the West is so stacked. You got to have somebody to where, okay, Anthony Edwards can give me 40, but I got this guy. I know he's going to give me 25, and that's enough. You got Karl Anthony Towns not even hitting 25. Plenty of nights. Okay? Plenty of nights. So it's like, I do agree with that trade now that we've You at first it sounds crazy because why would you give up such a good double man duo, which they do have the potential. First year together, anything can happen. You can build upon it and make it great, or you can let the Eagles fly and it still be horrible. But I do agree with you on that one.
Well, of course, we're gonna post this whole video on YouTube, but I think that just that segment alone, we can also cut and post on its own as well,
Oh
because that
yeah,
was
you good, bro.
beautiful. I want to give us credit.
Hey,
Kudos to us. That was a great trade we just made there. Oh my God.
you know, I got this in the background.
And one thing I would say too, you did bring up that they had a lot of stars come in and out. All their stars not only have left, but they've won championships elsewhere. Kevin Garnett wins one with Boston. Kevin Love wins one with
Hey,
the
you was
Cavs.
talking about my boy
Um,
earlier. Just saying, NBA
so
champion.
does Carl Anthony Towns leave and wins one as well? That would be
Yeah,
very
that'd be
interesting.
something to watch. And I told you, you bring the coach back, you give him somebody like that where he can work in the post, and you know the guard spot. As long as you got numbers, you're good, because your starting guard is always gonna be better than your bench. This is what it
All right,
is.
guys. Well, we'll try to get one more before we end the video. We had the great, terrific trade by Don Dollar with the Memphis Grizzlies, trading uh, J.J. Jackson and Luke Kennard for JB. We had the Portland Trailblazers, which everybody talked about. We've explained why we think that'll be a cool fit. We had the Atlanta Hawks, Trae Young being disgruntled in Atlanta, going for JB. JB's from Atlanta, wanted the ball out at home, and it being a good match with DeJounte Murray, him, and all their big men. And then number 4, we had a Minnesota Timberwolves trade, Karl Anthony Towns for JB, and it sounded like it was a good fit. So number 5, I have one if you don't, Don. Um,
We still on Jaylen Brown.
yeah, this is the last one for Jaylen
Okay,
Brown.
okay. Just make sure. No, I ain't got one. I think them top four was fine.
All right, just to make it 5, so we can say we have 5 potential Jaylen Brown trades. Obviously, we think some are better than the other. So this one might not be the greatest, but we need 5, so I'm going to give you 5. All right? The Toronto Raptors. And it looks like they are ready to rebuild. They just let their coach go that won them a championship, Nick Nurse. They didn't make the playoffs this year, really. Well, they didn't make the playoffs this year. They barely scratched and clawed their way into the play-in and got the dirty embarrassment. And we don't know where they're at right now. We don't know if they're in rebuild mode. We don't know what's what. Their star, one of their top players, Fred VanVleet, he's looking to go to free agency. There's going to be a lot of teams after him. Yeah, he kind of had an off year at 3, but he's a scorer. And one thing about the NBA is you need scoring.
He's a assister. Assister.
He scored what he averaged, like 25 a game.
He's an assister.
So the Raptors have some interesting pieces. Scotty Barnes, who is seen as a good young talent, but I don't think he's risen to that next level yet. To me, the guy who's been there for a while, maybe it's time for a change of scenery. Spicy P, Pascal Siakam. And then you got Gary Trent Jr., who's a great D and 3 guy. He actually averaged like 25 points per game quietly this year. He became a great role player in Portland, and then he came to Toronto. He got a check. So I think Boston can get a multitude of different options here to make a good trade. Maybe they're like, hey, man, we need somebody else with Scotty Barnes, so we can have 2 young stars
Scotty
come up and
Barnes.
we can make them together. So instead of trading Scotty Barnes, maybe you give them Pascal Siakam. You be like, hey, man, you just ain't doing it for us no more. So now they got Scotty Barnes and
man,
They got Scotty
Oh,
Barnes,
there you go.
and they got Jaylen Brown, two young stars who can grow and hopefully reach that next peak together. Boston gets what we said they missed in the last trade. They get a big man in Spicy P to pair with Jason Tatum and all those guards. And now it feels like a more complete team.
I like that just because they just got Jacob however you say his last name, the big man that they got now, and he's been playing phenomenal.
Oh, Jake Paul.
Yeah, Jacob Podol. You know, he came from the Spurs, so you know he's been
from San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah, he's been playing astronomical. He really led that run. But the problem is, if Fred VanVleet goes into agency, you don't get rid of Siakam, because then it throws your balance off. It kind of throws your balance off. I say you sign Fred. You sign Fred to anything, and then take him and Gary Trent Jr. I would take him and Gary Trent Jr. since they're already gonna let him go. Take him and Gary Trent Jr. and get him out of here, and then bring in Jaylen Brown.
But if I'm the Celtics, I already got 20 guards. So
you ain't got no Fred VanVleet.
If I'm gonna trade Jaylen Brown, I want a more complete team, and that's why I'm going for Siakam. I mean, hey, y'all want a superstar, y'all gotta give us something too.
Yeah, I just don't see Toronto giving up Siakam. It's just that's just a hard one. Like that.
I don't know what the hell Toronto doing. They acting like they want to blow it up, then they act like they want to keep everybody. Like,
I'm a prize pick,
make up
man.
your mind.
I'm a prize pick, man. I watch every game. They're not getting rid of Siakam. They can't. Unless they just want to suck for the next 2 to 3 years, which they probably, if they want to do that, fine, get rid of Siakam. But you get rid of Siakam, it's over with. That's his team. Like, that's their Jason Tatum. Like, real talk, that's their Jason Tatum. So I don't see them getting rid of him, because that would be chaotic. Like, the organization would boo them.
That's why they're letting Fred VanVleet reach free agency, because they're like, hey, we see that we lost our playoff run already, our championship run already. Fred VanVleet's getting older. Siakam's getting older. So how do we fix this? How do we start for a next wave again? We already got Scotty Barnes, who we believe is going to be a star. We pair him with another young star, and hopefully we can build the whole team around them.
Yeah. I mean, that's the only reason why you go get a big man. You go get a big man because your shooters can't shoot.
But all right, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. But, you know.
This video has been accomplished.
No. Wait, time out. We haven't talked about your boy. That's what I've been waiting on. That's why I started this and said Marvin is a big-time LeBron fan. And I've been trying to realize.
I just like LeBron. He deserves to be cherished and celebrated before his career is over. It's coming to a dwindling end.
I mean, I feel like everybody chilling.
All of us as NBA and basketball enthusiasts should appreciate the king before he's gone.
He's the face of the NBA. Everybody appreciates him. Do you think he leaves?
If you say so.
Do you think he leaves? Or you think he stays?
Leaves where?
The Lakers.
How?
What do you mean how? He's the face of the NBA. He can leave and go anywhere.
He's not fucking retiring. I'll tell you that.
I don't think he's retiring.
Under contract.
That's a catch. That's a catch.
So,
he can't retire. He's
man,
be like
it's
Tom
like
Brady.
it's like all right. You arguing with your girl. You had a really big argument, right? And then your boy is gonna be like, "Hey, man, you think you love her? You think you gonna marry her?" You be like, "Man, F that girl, man." You don't really mean it. It's just in the moment you hot. That's what you're saying. That's exactly what happened. They just lost in the playoffs. My dude's playing on a torn something in his foot. He just carried the team with 40 damn points, and these buffoons still lost. So of course he said, "Yeah, I might consider retiring." He ain't need that shit, man. Come on.
You think he'd leave in LA?
Come on. what I think is gonna happen, LeBron's gonna stay one more year, fulfill his contract. His dream was to play with his son. So I think when his son gets drafted, he'll be a free agent, and then he'll go to whatever team his son gets. Two.
You don't think he brings
So if
his,
that
you
being
don't think he
said,
brings his son to the Lakers?
I think it might be Tank City because think of it this way. If you're a team in position to potentially get the #1 pick that year, you know if you get Bronny, you get LeBron too, you're instantly a contender.
But what if the Lakers tank?
I don't think LeBron's gonna allow that. You can't tank with the king on your team.
Yes, you can. They barely made it this year.
Hey, and then
yeah,
they made it pretty far.
they
They
can't
made it pretty
tank.
far.
Yeah, they barely made it this year. So what are we talking about?
Well, LeBron was hurt and AD was hurt.
No, they weren't. They just sat out like some hoes.
They were hurt, bro. LeBron is about to have surgery, dog.
I'm
He
talking about
played
AD.
hurt.
AD sat out like a hoe.
AD is made for street
Built
clothes.
like paper clip.
You know how they said girls for the streets?
Yeah. That's what
That's
AD's
AD,
for.
but it's street clothes. He's for the street clothes
Bro,
because he
that
don't play.
man, I ain't even gonna talk about him, but there's rumors that LeBron could be traded to the Mavs. He wants to rekindle. He wants to rekindle his flame with Kyrie. They miss each other.
All right, this
There
is
was
the
a
problem
love
with that
system.
theory. The problem with that theory is Denver. How the f they gonna trade for LeBron?
You mean the Dallas Mavs?
See, I can't even talk
How
straight.
do they trade for LeBron?
This is stupid. They can't trade for LeBron.
You give
But
up
I'll
the
play
whole
game.
team.
This is the funny
You
part
give
to
up
me.
the whole team and undrafted player.
Ooh! Who's the team, dog?
Everybody besides Luka and Kyrie, trade them all.
And guess who those guys are?
Look, and then you become the Miami Heat and get nothing but undrafted player.
And guess who those guys are? All the other guys except for Luka. They're us.
We don't
The
know.
bench warmers.
Right. Take all of it.
But if you want to have fun with it,
Take it all.
if LeBron wants to go to Dallas, right? This is what will happen. Kyrie's the one who brought all this conversation together. He's like, yeah, me, LeBron, and Luka, and they also say Draymond Green will go there with them because he could be a free agent this year. So this will be the funniest ish ever. Kyrie's like, yeah, I made it happen. Woo, woo, woo. And then it's Luka, LeBron, and Draymond, and they're like, we don't want that ninja.
Hey, he is that cancer.
And you be like, but it was my idea.
I see him in a Lakers jersey though. Kyrie, I see him in a Lakers jersey next year.
Lakers don't want him, dog.
Shit.
They don't.
Shit.
Hey y'all.
Shit.
I bet $100 the Lakers do not take Kyrie Irving.
If they are, if Dallas offers them that, they will take that. Bro, you gotta realize the Lakers are not in the finals right now because they do not have a point guard. That's the only missing piece.
I agree.
If you give me Kyrie, I'm winning a championship. So I don't give a fuck about all that.
They don't want those problems.
Problems? Those, you talking about players who wrapped up in being gay, who need icy hots in the middle of the game, and they don't want Kyrie? Come on.
I want Kyrie, dog.
Come on. You talking about people who barely played the whole season, and they don't want Kyrie?
Let's do agree though. D'Angelo Russell is garbage.
You talking about somebody who couldn't even score plus 10 in 3 games and is the starting point guard, and they don't want Kyrie?
If they were gonna pay for someone of that caliber, they would try to find a way to get Lillard. I don't think they have anybody to trade for him.
But you got to realize, Lillard hasn't want to go anywhere for so long. So now it's like for them to go get Lillard, he's gonna. I don't think he's gonna go. The reason I don't think he's gonna go, him and LeBron, I think him and LeBron would play great together. I don't think him and AD would play great together.
All right, so we have a Don De Niro and Max Sports Attack disagreement.
Yeah.
Don De Niro believes that Kyrie will go to the Lakers. I say, hell F no, he ain't going there. They don't want him. They don't want his drama. Especially in LA, he'll be king theatrics. And Don also believes that Damian Lillard ain't going nowhere. And I just have a gut feeling he gets traded this offseason.
No,
So
I think he can. I think Damian Lillard can go somewhere. I think he's tired. I think he doesn't want to end up like Carmelo and all those other guys who were great in
I
no
think he
ring.
doesn't care about that. I think the derivative of him leaving is that he personally has said he doesn't want another rebuild. He wants to win now.
Yeah, he
They
wants a
have the
ring.
number 2 pick, and I feel like they're lying to him and saying, yeah, we're going to do our best to flip this number 2 pick to a star so you can win now. And I think it's BS. I think it's buffoonery. I don't think they have any intentions on using that number 2 pick.
That's why he got to get out of there. He
And
has
I
to leave.
think
He has
once
to
he
leave
realizes
Portland.
that, he's going to get upset. And that's when he's going to be like, all right, I wanted to stay here. I wanted to be here my whole life. I can't do it.
Yeah, he got to leave Portland. Like if he don't leave Portland, it's a wrap for him. He's gonna be another Carmelo, Chris Paul.
I mean, there's a lot of people in the world who are Hall of Famers who don't win championships. I mean,
Yeah, I'm not saying that he's not a Hall of Famer, but you do like I don't care what nobody says, and you can they can deny this in my face all they want. When you're a professional athlete for so many years, you play to go. So don't tell me, oh yeah, I'm going. No, you play to go. That's the purpose of playing to go
don't
and
tell
win.
Ben Simmons that because
Huh?
he played to get paid.
Well, we don't care
And
about
then
him. I'm talking about the greats. I'm talking about the greats. You're talking about somebody who just he is in the NBA. He's in the NBA. That's it. That's all he's doing. He's just in the NBA. I'm talking about people who are great, like Damian Lillard, and we're talking Hall of Famers. Ben Simmons is a player in the NBA. He is nobody.
I think
Okay.
if it's up to Damian Lillard, he more cares about staying in Portland than winning a championship. I think if they are actually willing to trade that number 2 pick for another star, which I can't think of one right now on a team.
That's what I'm saying.
Actually, I can.
And Dame's getting old, bro.
This
he's
just came to
going
my head.
in.
All right. So in order for the number 2 pick for a star to be attractive, it got to be somebody who's ready to give up and be like, look, we'll take the number 2 pick and rebuild because this shit ain't working.
But you gotta realize a lot of teams committed to their rebuild this year.
But they don't have stars that is worthy enough for Damian Lillard to be like, okay, I'm with that.
Yeah.
So the only thing I can think of on the top of my head is the Washington Wizards. They take the number 1, 2 pick because they're tired, they're ready to start over, and Portland gets Bradley Beal.
I could see that. Tough, but I could see that.
Bradley Beal and Lillard, that's cold.
I think Bradley Beal because they're both scorers. That's good. Or even or Porzingis. I could see Porzingis.
For the number 2 pick, bro.
I can see Porzingis, bro. He's a good
We're
solid.
gonna give up the number 2 pick for Kristaps Porzingis.
Bro, he's a good solid big.
Cut it
A
out,
bro. You gotta realize a lot of people can fit a system once they join it. It
It's
might
not
look
that
like
he
it.
don't fit the system. Is that I don't think he's worthy of the number 2 pick. If I'm Portland.
Well, not Bradley. Shit. Bradley Beal just another fucking guard. I'd rather have a post guy like Porzingis to help Damian Lillard out. Like,
Hey, remember Lillard was great with CJ McCollum, so that could be his new CJ McCollum.
you're right, but they didn't win shit. So give him a big man, and maybe he can win with that. Look at James Harden and Joel Embiid; they can win something. They just got.
He's made it as far as Embiid. Embiid's never made it to the Eastern Conference Finals.
I just, I take Porzingis over Beal. Just me.
If I'm Portland, I would never even fathom the idea of trading.
I like big man, bro. Big people sleep on big man.
I do as well. I just don't trust Porzingis. Like you said, AD doesn't play games. Porzingis is just the same as him.
Yeah, he doesn't. But
for my bold prediction, guys, before we go,
but he's
Damian Lillard gets traded.
He's on the Washington Wizards. I would not want to play for them either.
Bradley Beal just wanted the money. That's what it was.
He's on the Washington Wizards. I wouldn't want to play for them either. Shit.
But y'all, we don't want to bore y'all. We had a very good episode. We broke down Jaylen Brown potentially getting traded. We have 5 excellent trades.
Yeah.
That could potentially happen. And I think all of them are actually realistic and good ideas. They might not be great, they might not be the best, but they're good ideas. But we know y'all are going to flame us in the comments, say we're crazy. So please, bring it on. Bring it on. We want to hear your thoughts.
Crazy until we're right.
You know what? We should do a reaction video to the comments on this video. I think they're going to be fun. So please chime in. Let us know what's up. Is Max Sports Attack crazy? Is Don De Niro crazy? Together, we are the bench warmers. Here warming up the bench to have good conversation, baby. So come check us out. We're going to have good content. Keep coming, keep flowing. And we hope that, you enjoy it and you have some comments for us too.
We out. Let's see. Exit full screen. Podcast. Man, this is a lot. Okay.